Hi, it's Stella. Today I'm going to be doing this presentation on Woody Diafallo. Yeah. So Woody Diafallo is a ceramic artist born in Miami, Florida. He works now in Oakland, but he has a BFA from Florida Atlantic University and an MFA from California College of the Arts. He works mostly in bronze sculpture, clay, and paint, which is normally like oil paint. The first slide is a detail from one of his paintings, but the works I focus on in this presentation are his like ceramic and bronze sculptures. So he did a ceramics concentration for his BFA. Yeah. He had his first solo exhibition at the San Jose Museum of Art in 2019. And he's had his work shown across the US as well as in London, Lisbon, and Rome, but most of his shows have been in California. Recently, he was commissioned by SFO for a permanent spot in the International Terminal. And right now he has a show taking place at the Jessica Silverman Gallery in San Francisco. It'll be there until November 13th, and then I think that it moves to San Jose November 19th. Woody Diafallo is said to be part of the American post-war contemporary movement. Yeah. So these are just some shots from him in the studio. The vase with the ears has a place to be heard on it. And then the clocks. I think, I don't really know which exhibitions these pieces are from or what their titles are, but I do feel like they offer a glimpse into his creation process, and they show a couple of the motifs that you'll see in the rest of his work, like these vessels with dismembered body parts and clocks that don't really tell time. Yeah, kind of maybe relating to Dali or surrealism. I also just liked the shot of him in his studio because, I don't know, it's relatable, I guess. Although we're not really using molds. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, so this is from his first exhibition. It's called Breathing Room, and the pieces are all in clay. The stools, the vessels, and even the vents and plugs in the background. He's also got some paintings in this show. So this exhibition as a whole is said to be influenced by Frantz Fanon's study of the psychological impact of racism on Black bodies. Diafallo's vessels are slouching and slumping, and in some of the critiques and pieces I read about this, as well as the description I saw from the gallery show, this slouch and slump is supposed to be related to the burdens of daily life and just, yeah. Yeah, I felt like the exhibition as a whole kind of evokes this claustrophobic atmosphere, which is kind of interesting, especially with the title relating to the death of Eric Garner and the words "I can't breathe." I just felt like this was a really impactful exhibition, and it's a lot of layered meanings. But on a different side, I also found an article that related the show to blues and funk musical movements and kind of coming out of sorrow through the blues, which I thought was an interesting layer. So Diafallo makes a lot of these different vessel forms, and he likens them to Nikisi, which I hope I'm saying that right. It's a Central African tradition of making objects in containers that are inhabited by spirits. I think that's really interesting, especially just with the theme of kind of creating a space to breathe and a space to exist. It almost like reflects towards the room as a whole. But I also just like very formally aspected. I thought that it was interesting, kind of like the way these sculptures could be enclosed, but instead he adds this hole, turning it into a vessel. And I just thought it was like an interesting way to create the like air hole for the sculpture itself. So these are some more photos from the exhibition. You can see his paintings as well as the like these kind of domestic objects that Othello creates for a lot of his shows. This plug is also one of his works. Yeah, this is just like a more detailed photo showing like the relation to the Nikisi. Okay, so Cool Composition is a work that he showed at Art Basel in 2019. It's a bronze sculpture that he modeled in clay. It connects the motif of like warped everyday objects in Othello's work with another theme of his, which is like climate change. So I feel like the setup here kind of evokes like hot summers spent around a fan, and again like this kind of domestic feeling with the stools and the houseplants and the vents again. Here's more pictures of the like process behind his work, the size. Sorry. Yeah. So for his current exhibition called Looking in San Francisco, he's showing paintings again, a wallpaper design, a bunch more of these kind of domestic sculptures, and then the largest piece of the show is called Fountain here. But the exhibition as a whole kind of like reflects our experience of the pandemic, like spent inside. Yeah. And I also just want to note that this sculpture here, Fountain, is meant for outdoors. So I just thought it was kind of interesting, like in relation to the assignment that we have right now in class. So it's really large. It's like over 9 feet tall. And the title is in reference to like Marcel Duchamp's iconic ready-made sculpture. But the piece has like kind of an inverted impact with like the connotations of drinking water. And this piece is again speaking to the issue of climate change. There's a quote from Othello on the topic. He says, "Moving from the rising tides of the Florida tropics to drought-ridden California, the environment is always on my mind." And he says again, among other concepts, Fountain is about abundance, scarcity, access, and denial. So I guess here he's kind of like relating his domestic themes to a larger picture of what scarcity means in our world. Yeah. It's just another shot from his show. I feel like the pieces from this collection were very reflective and show a lot about him as an artist, as well as our current times. Thank you so much.